All right, everybody. Good afternoon, almost good evening here. Having trouble zooming in. Hold on. Okay. Um, I don't want to make this video, but I'm going to give it my best. In the O scale, the 2 rail O scale brass hobby, we lost a great modeler the other day. I just got word from a buddy of mine down in San Diego who let me know that Gary Schrader, Gary Schrader of he's Gary Schrader of the Old Scale West fame. He had a beautiful, massive collection and layout of Southern Pacific and Santa Fe during the early 50s, the transition era. So a lot of steam, a lot of early diesels, a lot of zebra stripes, there's tiger stripes, switching locomotives and stuff like that. Passenger freight, mixed freight. Gary Schrader was pretty amazing, and I'm gonna miss you, Gary, wherever you are. Love the hell out of you. Love talking to you. Love discussing the little details in our Santa Fe locomotives or Southern Pacific locomotives. Let's keep watching your layout here. Let's do. Bear with me while we watch all the commercials. Anyways, from what I remember, Gary Schrader was part of the Silicon Valley explosion in the early 80s out here in California. And apparently whatever he came up with or invented, or the process or the method or the chip, whatever he did, this is him telling us the story now. He did so well that his company bought him off. And at an early age, he was set for life. So what Gary did is, let's check out the layout. Gary was pretty much set for life. Let's get some sound on this sucker. And one of the first things he did, he told me and Bill the story, is he bought a big house that was big housing community up in San Jose area, and he found the one where they were building a big room up above, huge room. And he said, I'm going to buy this house. This is where I'm going to put my model railroad. And that's what he did, and that's what we're looking at right here. Now, O Scale West out here on the West Coast is held every February. It used to be held every February. They've moved it into the summer now. But me and my buddies would go up there. It was like a mecca for all of us, for all you old scalers out here on the West Coast or west of Mississippi. It was our mecca. That was our thing, and keep in mind, let me explain. O scale 2 rail, what you're looking at right there. O scale is exactly the same size as Lionel, only instead of running on 3 rails, it runs on scale. Everything about O scale is scale. There's no template, there's no toy to it. But these locomotives you're watching right here on the screen, these things are huge. They're all brass and they're massive and they're heavy, but they run like a clock. Let me show you what I'm talking about. In terms of mass and size and stuff. So this is the HO brass locomotive from my buddy Ed Campbell's collection. Here it is as a point of reference. This is Denver Rio Grande L131, I think. Not I think, that's what it is. And in the background is a Union Pacific Challenger. So look at the sizes of those things. These things are humongous. Look at my workbench, my laptop. You guys are used to me always working down here in 125th. Look at the sheer size that these things gobble up. All the real estate they gobble up. Let me go back. I want to show you Gary Schrader's stuff. So Gary Schrader was some sort of computer or electronic or both guru, wizard, and his company bought him out. It was pretty much set for life, but he focused on accuracy and adding every little minute detail and pipe that would have come on the real locomotive that the models don't come with. And I'm the same way, only I was doing that down here, Southern California, as opposed to him up in Northern California. Look at that. Now keep in mind the size of those locomotives and how many they are, and compared to what I've got here on my desk. So his layout was massive. His equipment, his collection was humongous. Everything had super detail added onto it, kind of like my stuff down here. And we went up there. We made that pilgrimage for about over 25 years. I finally stopped going here recently when my friends started dying on me. And how I met Gary was I mentioned to him that on the Santa Fe steam locomotives, down here on the rear of the cab, underneath, but on the rear, on the underside down here, they had a light bulb sticking down there on their big steamers. And he told me, yeah, that's the cities installed that, when the railroads donated the locomotives to these parks and stuff. He said the cities installed those light bulbs for the public and stuff. And I go, no, Gary, you're mistaken. That was used for, that's what they actually used back during when these things were running. It was for the crew, so they could look into the tender and all that stuff back there, the water levels, oil levels on the Santa Fe. And he goes, no. And I go, no, really. I go, I've actually seen it. I got photographs of them. See, Gary worked off of historical reference books, photographs. He was a big member of the Santa Fe Railroad Historical Society and stuff like that. I didn't. I traveled the country, literally all year long, year after year after year, acquiring valuable old-scale pieces like what you see right here in front of you. And I got to visit real Santa Fe locomotives that are on display throughout the country at various parks and stuff. And yeah, I got pictures and diagrams and photos and videos of all those with that light bulb. This is what I explained to Gary. I explained to him I was just a simple conduit coming out from the back wall, the firewall, along the center of the underside of the roof to the end. It's just got a regular junction box with a screw-in thing for a light bulb, literally what you would find at Home Depot. And the light bulb sits inside its protective cage. And he was like, oh, you're kidding. So I'll show you a video up ahead. He was so proud of that fact. And he started modeling it on his locomotives that he would get visitors from all over the world. Australia, New Zealand, England, Japan, you name it. And we would just sit there and listen to him go over each locomotive. The fun part about going to those shows, that Old Scale West annual show, which is still going on today, is we got to the point, whether we sold trains or not during the show, we weren't there for the selling anymore. We were there because at night after dinner, everybody opens their layouts, their home layouts. And Gary Schrader's was open all 5 evenings, and he was the only one that would be open till 1 o'clock in the morning. So guess where we were for 5 days in a row, 5 evenings in a row till 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it was exhausting, but he loved it. He loves explaining, doing his spiel, and I'll show you a little bit of videos on that and pointing out different things. And then he loved that my knowledge that I knew that was the same way also. And we became colleagues through that. And you can tell by the way I build my AMT models, a Freightliner dump truck kit or the Diamond Rio Marilyn Monroe. I like to add as much detail as I can. It's just, I love that. I love the research. I love adding it on. And that's what Gary would say too. So God bless his soul. God bless Gary Schrader. I guess he made plans, well thought out guy. He made plans well ahead of time for how to get rid of his collection, put it in his will, and his brother's going to help out. But Gary, I don't know where you're at, buddy, but I am going to miss the living daylights out of you and talking to you and the little challenges we would throw at each other for who could model or who could come up with some obscure tiny details. I'm going to miss that, Gary. And I'm doing this video just for you. So we'll let YouTube go through its millions of commercials. Ooh. You're stuck, man. I mean, YouTube's getting angry with the commercials. Okay, jerks. So this is Gary Schrader's voice, and this is what every evening would entail for us.
It has a double drawbar, which is prototypical, and it's correct dimensions for the double drawbar. Moving on down the engine a little bit here, we can see right at the front of the firebox right here is what's called a continuous blowdown valve. That had to be scratch built since nobody makes a casting for that. Also, nobody makes a casting for the injector starter valve for the Santa Fe, and this is a blowdown valve. The big deal here, though, is that notice that the drivers are, in fact...
So that was your typical evening at Gary Schrader's till 1 o'clock in the morning. And he was proud to show off his babies, and we just loved sitting there enthralled. And he got a kick out of that, and so did we. And we used to go up to Old Scale West, me, Ed Campbell, Bill Balker, who's like my brother from another mother, Bill Balker and his lovely wife who live outside of Arkansas, outside of Little Rock, Arkansas. Roger Jenkins, Don Miller, just the biggest names in the hobby, and we were all friends. And pretty much, other than Bill Balker, they've all passed along. And I'm going to be doing a video relating to Bill Balker here. My next video release sometime this weekend, and it'll kind of cover this stuff right here. It'll be kind of interesting. But Bill, I'm just saying hi to you and your wife. Say hi to Gail for me. But anyways,
the front end of the locomotive was modified a bit around the pilot area. That outside bearing lead truck does not require. It has a complete interior cab detail, all complete with gauges that are copied off of real gauges, so that they really look like gauges when you see them up close. Now I'll go ahead and run 5006 on out of the siding and headed towards the front of a train so we can actually watch these two monsters operate on a long freight train. The whistle on this is a Santa Fe whistle on a QSI sound system, the QSI Magnum sound system. If we go to function 4, notice the red light on the end of the tender. Okay, that is a red warning light that all Santa Fe engines had, that is used whenever they're standing in the clear and not on a train, like standing in the yards clear at night. It's just a red warning light so they don't get rear-ended. In addition to that, we have a little light on the rear of the cab. You notice that go on and off.
See that light?
That's a special casting that I had made up as well. and it's lighted. That was for the use of the firemen at night when he had to get on top of the tender and fill the water and oil. Zooming up and looking a little bit closer into the cave.
All right, so pretty much this is just a video dedicated to the late Gary Schrader, one of the pillars of the old scale two-rail hobby, one of my most interesting friends in the hobby, and fellow colleague and Santa Fe Southern Pacific fan. Gary, without you, you made this hobby what it is, enjoyable, and the friendship and the people who open their houses and their homes and invite complete strangers just to check out their stuff. I can't imagine this hobby without you, Gary. I'm gonna miss you. Wow, I didn't think I was gonna get teary-eyed, but Gary, I send you lots of love. I'm gonna miss you. This hobby will never be the same without you. Without me ruining my models here on the workbench and get them all rusted with tears and shit. Let's just end this video kind of short right here. But I want to end it with a nice song dedicated for you, sir. Let's see how I can do this. We'll do it. 1313, we'll do it. Right about here. No. Okay. We'll do it right about here. I'm going to set this up so we can, I want you guys stare at the locomotives while I set up all this boring stuff. But thank you for joining me. Just enjoy the video for what it is. It's just for fun and well, let's do this. Silence the sound here. I never have done this live while I stand here, but I'm doing it today. All right. To buy a black diamond string, gonna wind it up on my guitar, gonna make that silver sing like it was dream filled a long time ago, million miles away. All the trees were green in Dreamville. I keep waking up all by myself, with a blue jay in my brain, flapping his wings, making me sing. It was just a